A quick question. I look at 12 Force on Best Buy and the fact that they're trusting so many employees to be on Twitter and in social media, because frankly they're trusting them on the retail sales floor to speak to clients. Why not speak to them on social media? It's the same. So I think more specifically about Starbucks and the fact that the baristas have sometimes some open time themselves, some free time to themselves, not a lot, but sometimes, and they're in a Wi-Fi space in which frankly there's probably a lot of people in that room using the Wi-Fi that are tweeting at that moment. And those could all be representative tweeters for you as an army, kind of like 12 Force in a way. I'm thinking that that could be a way of ramping that up. I don't know, is there a reason why that kind of initiative would happen with Best Buy as a retail sale and maybe not the same with Starbucks or with Alaska? Because I imagine there's the occasional flight attendant that might really like to engage in conversation, that kind of thing. Is there a reason why it's central? That's about it.
Yeah, I'll take that since you directed it.
Okay. That'd be a good reason.
Best Buy, I was really impressed. They had an ad on Hulu I saw last night, and it was, I don't know if anyone's seen it, but it's, a whole stadium full of blue shirts. And it was really impressive. It was a really great ad. Now, Best Buy I'm not particularly loyal to, but that impressed me as, someone that works in the same space. We have looked at offering localized Twitter accounts, and there's some resource problems that we have right now. In terms of actually bringing that idea to market. We have talked about it a lot, and it's probably something that we want to do in one way or another, but it's not happening in the next month or so, although I would like it to.
Okay.
We'll see. We were definitely looking at it.
Okay.
So I just got an update from our Twitter stream. Frank was talking earlier about how when he had to take a day off, folks started answering their own, the questions from the community, and that's apparently happening right now if you follow the hashtag SMCSEA, because obviously we would be here until the Mariners win again in order for us to answer everyone's questions. Actually, you know what's funny? I didn't know this until today, but apparently there's a Brad Nelson that plays for the Mariners. Sports fan?
He's in there with the Rainiers, AAA.
Oh, all right. All right. Well, there's actually a Brian Westbrook that is a football player. He's a running back for the Philadelphia Eagles, Frank's neck of the woods, and he was excited because you thought that one of your NFL players was moderating this panel. I'm sorry to disappoint. And then you
the first time I saw you on Twitter, I was like, oh my, true story, actually.
You know what? That actually, Frank, you're not alone. That happens to a lot of people. The first time they see me on Twitter, they're like, oh. But actually, I will tell you all, and I feel, this is a close-knit group. I did get free pizza the other day because he was convinced I played for the Philadelphia Eagles. Do I look like a running back? I don't actually think I've played a game of football in my life. I definitely do not play in the NFL. Question from Big... We'll just roll right into that, right? Question from Big Alice NY. I hope that's right because I'm reading it off the card. One of the folks watching on our Twitter stream, where do you imagine social media to be in 6 months? Maybe you can say where you've seen it come from and where you see it going. Maria, you want to start?
Sure. I think Brad alluded to it earlier, is to really try to kind of invite people into the conversation without having to control it. You got to learn first, but eventually it's to spread it out and to get everybody in your organization and the comfort level with your stakeholders to make sure that can happen. Where have I seen it come from? For us, it's been a huge leap. We knew nothing about social media 6 months ago, absolutely nothing. And that should build confidence up in all of you who haven't started. And right now, I would never call us experts, but I don't think anyone is. And it's just
any social media
evolving.
Experts in the room? Any social media experts? That was a trick question.
Yeah. But it's constantly evolving, and the main thing is just to hire people who know it better than you do. And to listen to them and to let go and trust them and just believe in what they tell you, especially, when they're on brand.
Brad, where have you been? Where will we be in 6 months?
So I think probably 6 months ago there's an MO now within big businesses using Twitter that you have to be there, you can't control the conversation, you can only be a part of it. And I think that we've had that idea for, since we launched My Starbucks Idea. So it's not a change for us, but it's a change for other big brands that we're seeing use Twitter. So it's nice to be a part of that trend because you cannot control the conversation, you can only be a part of it.
Elliot, 6 months. You'll have Wi-Fi on all the planes, and I'll get first-class upgrades.
No. So where we've been, we were, as a company, we didn't have any social media
And we didn't have any investment in the space probably over a year and a half ago. We had nothing. And so we have our Twitter account, Facebook, and we've been participating in other forums online for a long time, much longer than, I guess it's old school, or Social Media 101, or 1.0, excuse me. But 6 months from now, I see it being more like building out more proactive customer service, so when something happens, we're able to do something right there for the customer, or being a little bit more responsive and kind of having more people involved in the company, and maybe I would love for Twitter to be like concierge service,
There you go. I think we'd love that too. Frank?
6 months ago, I was not getting any sleep, so now I get a little bit.
So in 6 months, you'll get a lot.
Yeah, that's the hope. I think that this is a completely evolving space. I think in 6 months, more customers are going to realize that companies do not have control anymore, and they're going to be involved in these spaces. So I think you're going to see many more customers out there talking about their experiences, and it's going to start really forcing companies to fix service that they've been concentrating so much on productivity and efficiencies, as opposed to, the customer. So I think you're going to see a lot of changes there. I also think you're going to start seeing evolution in companies for helping. And I think it's going to be evolving to really be gathering information from all these sources to be able to provide the best answers. If you really look through and use Twitter search effectively, you can find out answers to all kinds of questions. And I think there's a lot of great information out there. Someone's going to figure out how to mine all this. And it's really going to change the service environment from that perspective too.
Business idea.
I'm glad